Hello and welcome to Beyond the Breach, episode 4, where we look past cyber incidents and focus on what becomes clear once the headlines fade. Today I want to talk about the Marks and Spencer's cyber incident that emerged in 2025 and what supply chain centered attacks like this one reveal about modern cyber resilience. Based on public reporting, Marks and Spencer's experienced a cyber attack over the Easter weekend of 2025. It disrupted elements of its supply chain as well as logistics operations. The impact extended beyond internal IT systems, affecting availability, fulfillment, and downstream operations in the Marks and Spencer's stores. Whilst the internal disruption was very visible, the longer-term consequences were more subtle and arguably, I would say, more instructive to this audience. When an organisation's own systems are attacked, control largely remains internal. When the supply chain is disrupted, however, control becomes distributed, or sometimes it disappears entirely. Dependencies that normally remain invisible suddenly become very visible and very critical. Third parties are pulled directly into incident response. Decision-making slows, coordination becomes harder, and recovery timelines tend to lengthen. Supply chain incidents, like the one at Marks and Spencer's, rarely end cleanly. Now, it's important to be clear here, Marks and Spencer has not publicly disclosed detailed technical root cause analysis, and I'm not going to speculate around this area. But I think we can talk responsibly about common root cause patterns seen across, in particular, retail organisations and logistical ecosystems. That's where the learning lies here. Supply chain driven incidents typically begin well outside the organisation's core infrastructure. Initial compromise often occurs within a third-party environment. A logistics provider, a software supplier perhaps, a managed service provider, or an integration platform, where access is persistent, trusted, and rarely monitored with the same intensity as internal systems. Once compromised, the attacker doesn't need to breach the primary organisation directly and expose themselves. They exploit pre-existing trust relationships, integrations, data flows in order to create disruption indirectly. Retail organisations are particularly exposed here because of timing and coupling. Their supply chains are tightly synchronised around peak demand periods, Easter holidays, for example. Seasonal promotions, major fulfillment cycles are important here. The coupling optimises efficiency, but it leaves little room for error before profits are affected in a retail organisation. When disruption occurs at the wrong moment, even limited technical impact can cascade into outsized operational consequence. In those conditions, resilience is not just about how quickly systems can be restored, but whether the organisation can continue operating safely while trust is uncertain. The deeper root cause here is not a single compromised supplier, it's an architectural dependence without sufficient visibility. Many organisations know who their critical suppliers are, but far fewer understand which integrations, identities, and automated processes represent single points of operational failure. When those dependencies fail, organisations are forced into reactive governance. They restrict access. They have to revalidate trust. They slow things down, often long after the original incident has passed. This is why supply chain cyber incidents often have a longer tail than direct attacks. The technology may recover quickly, but trust recovers very slowly. And until that trust is restored, efficiency remains constrained. So what should we take from all of this? Well, firstly, I think it's important to remember that supply chain resilience is inseparable from cyber resilience. Secondly, third-party trust relationships are operational dependencies. They're not administrative details. And finally, visibility matters more than control across complex ecosystems. That's the clarity I wanted to explore today. Beyond the Breach.